Meanwhile, at King Ghidorah's base, he was patiently waiting for Godzilla Jr. to arrive. He was in his Ghidorah form. Everyone else was watching from the background. They were patiently waiting, Queen Ghidorah holding Gorgiron down. Gorgiron desperately tried to get up, but she has no energy left to keep fighting. The only thing she can hope for is her son becomes successful and beats the living crap out of King Ghidorah. That was the only thing she was hoping for. King Ghidorah patiently waited, waited, and waited. Ghidorah waited and waited. It wasn't until Junior finally arrived. But, Ghidorah might actually have an advantage because, well, his current height is 159.9 meters. And Junior was just 100 freaking meters. Ghidorah noticed this and almost busted out laughing. Oh my god, Godzilla Jr., you are so freaking tiny compared to me. Junior just looked up, staring at the large, massive titan before him. Not only is King Ghidorah bigger, but the fact that he is shorter than King Ghidorah, he can't even do any damage. Okay, this is not gonna end well for me in the slightest. Oh boy. Gorgiron completely noticed the size differences between her son and Ghidorah. He's definitely gotten a lot bigger. Ghidorah has gotten a lot bigger. The last time she saw Ghidorah was 1991. And she was afraid for her son's life. Knowing that Ghidorah is way bigger than he was before completely changes the games for her son. Junior sighed. He could see his mom. Even though Ghidorah was bigger than him, there was no way. There was no goddamn way Junior was gonna back down already. But Junior has no other choice. He roars at King Ghidorah, and King Ghidorah roars right back. The two charge at each other head on. Ghidorah bit Godzilla Jr. here on his arms and on his neck. Jr. roared out in pain, but Jr. bit right back. But it didn't look like it did any damage. All it seemed to do was to stun King Ghidorah for a bit. Wasn't until he punched him right in the eye. That seemed to do some damage. Of course, King Ghidorah was way more invincible than he was before. Junior tried his best, but there was nothing he could do. Not even firing his atomic breath seemed to do some damage. There was clearly a huge disadvantage for Junior. Not only he can't even do damage, but he was also dwarfed by King Ghidorah. Junior tried and tried and tried, but there was nothing he could do. The only attack that seemed to be truly effective was punching Ghidorah in the eye or somewhere that was most vulnerable. That seemed to be the only thing that was more effective. That attack is more effective. Junior realized that he can't keep this going for long. King Ghidorah has 3 heads, and not to say just keep on dodging left and right. There was no way Junior was going to win this fight. He already was fearing for his life. But Junior kept on fighting for his mom, for his adoptive parents, for his friends, for Rexy. He has to keep fighting. There was no way he was going to back down now. Ghidorah was even surprised. But then again, there's only one reason why Junior's not backing down. His father never backed down. And plus, King Ghidorah's put Junior out of a tight situation. If he backs down, if Junior backs down, he's only making his kind look weak. And not just that, he'll be failing his father. He'll be failing everyone that is depending on him. They're depending on him to win. They're depending on him to survive. They're depending on him to win. Junior was breathing very heavily. He looked at King Ghidorah and growled. He growled. Come on, do your worst. Ghidorah was surprised of Godzilla's bravery. This act of defiance was something that he did not expected. But where was he getting it from? He then realized Junior was raised by Kongs. The Kongs were not just kings of their own territory, but they were warriors. Ghidorah remembered a Kong roaring at a Godzilla while almost daring him to kill him. that act of defiance was something that Godzilla did not expect it. And since Junior was raised by Kong's, this act of defiance has now been passed down to Junior. Therefore, he'll make the Godzilla kind even look even more stronger, even more worthy of becoming truly kings of the monsters. Before we continue, may I ask you something, Junior? Why is it that you're fighting for these humans? Knowing that they were responsible for the destruction of your home, the death of your father, why is it that you're still fighting for them? Why is it that you're still fighting for them, even though that the only thing that they've actually done is cause you pain and suffering? Junior took a deep breath. He was actually wanting someone to ask him that question. He took another deep breath and let it out. We all have our reasons, Ghidorah. But the bigger question is, why don't I just kill them?